Okay, hi everyone. My name is Sylvia. I'm not a Python programmer, but I use Python because I don't like MATLAB, and I am a PhD student and my research group uses MATLAB and I didn't like it. You have to pay a license, it's complicated. So that's why I use Python. Well, you can send me an email after the talk if you have a question. You can find me on Twitter if you want. And let's start. So I'm going to talk about crawling because for work I'm a web developer, and for studying I do web privacy. So sometimes I want to see what web pages kind of do in the backend. With HTTP calls and so on, and sometimes I want to kind of being able to manipulate the DOM of a page. So I use the Jupyter project for that, which is Notebook, and I'm going to show how I do it. So it's going to be kind of a quick talk. I'm going just to say the tools I use and do a small demo. The tools is IPython, the Jupyter Notebook, and Selenium. So what is IPython? If you don't know it, IPython is kind of a framework or architecture or project for doing interactive computing. It's a little bit like the Python shell, and also provides a way for the Jupyter notebook to be run into IPython. You can do interactive data visualization. You can even load different interpreters if you want, and you can have some tools for parallel computing, or you can have like a small cluster running with your web browser. And what is actually the Jupyter notebook? It's a web application really running Python, and you can use it to create a document that can run code and have text and have some visualization images that you can create on the fly and so on. It's very good for data analysis if you don't have to do too much of it because, well, you have it in the browser. It's easier than MATLAB in my opinion. I don't know, maybe because I never liked MATLAB. And it's quick because it's just a shell, but you can do more things. So if you have to do something quick, you can do it. And if you want to improve your code, you can do it as well because you have instant feedback and you don't have to wait for it to run. What is Selenium? Okay, I don't know if you use it, but Selenium is something like remote control for your browser. You can run a browser instance and you can do stuff with it, basically, to put it simply. You can manipulate the DOM, and there are like addition, like proxy stuff and so on that you can look at every HTTP request while you have the page loading in the browser. So you don't have to fake, for example, the header when you send a request, HTTP request, because you have already a browser, you can install extension, you can do other things. Well, what you can do with Selenium, people use it for testing. You can do spamming, for example, because, well, you can have a lot of clients running a browser and those things. And you can interact with web pages if you want. So I have a demo actually. I found a way back to it. Okay, this is actually Notebook running in my browser. And it's, to see that it's like Python interpreter, you just do like this. And you run it. Okay, and you can import things like you do in a Python script or in an actual piece of software.
Could you make the font bigger?
Yeah.
Please. Okay.
Command plus.
Yeah, as well. Yeah. So you can import things normally, and when you just run it, you have it goes to the next cell. And for example, if you want to use Selenium with Chrome, you just once you import Selenium, you just create a web driver with Chrome, and you send a URL and tell the driver to get it. And it's over here. Well, that's the same. So you can do the same with Firefox. And you have another driver that you can do the same things. And for example, some things a little bit more advanced is that you could have a proxy to run on before you actually get the URL, because maybe you want to look at the request that the web page does, and so you just create a proxy server. I use browser mob proxy, which is a project like basically for creating a proxy within Selenium. That's the only thing it does. And well, you just create it with the path to the proxy and the port, and you start it, and it just starts basically. And then you can, for example, have another Chrome instance running actually the proxy. And it has data because, well, if you run the proxy, you get some garbage from it. And for example, you can send another URL, but have it pass through the proxy first and then to the driver. Well, you could do the same for Firefox, or the thing that you could do once you have something running in the driver is that you can actually interact with the DOM. So, for example, you could have a little function, in this case passing the driver and taking meta information. And then you could have some keywords. Or if you don't want to have content, you could actually see, well, maybe we have links. And see, well, you have to interact with it a little bit. For example, you have all the list, but you could, again, extract the attribute and get, for example, the actual URL, or if there are some other information about it. So yeah, yeah, and really, the stuff I do usually it's like creating profiles of keywords of pages, and this is really kind of garbage code, because I just take data out of it. I connect to Gmail, I connect to Facebook, and I do everything through the driver, and but just selecting IDs or things like this. And yeah, I actually discovered it because the first spammer on Pinterest used it, and there was an article about it, and so I just started to use it. I think that's about it. form, you just have to, instead of taking, for example, select an element by a tag, you can do form, or you can use the ID, or you just fill the text. You fill the value as you would do, for example, in jQuery. That the syntax is kind of similar in a way. Some functions are not very clear in Python because the project originally was in Java. So there are actually more functionality in Java, but the Python wrapper is actually easier to use, I think, because I don't do Java. I have a function to connect to Gmail actually. Or Facebook as well. It's not this one. You can also get the cookies from and manipulate that as well. So if you want to look at session stuff, try to change it, you can do that. If you want, I can send you the function to connect to Facebook or Gmail. It's not complicated. You just check the ID. It's always the same. You fill the value and that's it. And you click on submit. Oh yeah, this is a Gmail thing, but it goes for a function that I have. Fake profile. There is nothing in it.
I have a question about the Jupyter. You have a sequence of different cells with things. You can replay things, so it kind of saves the state after the execution of the cell, so that you can replay any cell at any point in time.
Well,
how does it work?
The thing is, so if I do something here, the driver would be the last instance of the driver that I've called. But if I call it, this for example doesn't have the number in it, so I haven't called this cell.
Okay.
So if I now call it, the driver would be Firefox. So when I call the function to possess the keyword.
Okay, so the number is the order of execution.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can move them around actually. It's like, you see, I can move them around and I can restart the kernel whenever I want.
And you can play the whole sequence together.
And you have to do play. You can do restart or clear everything. For example.